Long time no see. It's been an entire week since I've been MIA. I feel better, so we're going to roll with our show. This is the weekly relationship advice show. We've been doing this show for years. Used to be on Tuesdays, now it's on Wednesdays because that seems to work better for people. Hump Day advice columns called What the Fuck, because most of the time, as you sit here and listen to these people's stories and their decision-making process, you want to just facepalm. You're just like, what in the world were you thinking to make you think that was a good idea? That's what I say to myself all the time. Even after the show is over, I still be thinking about that. Like, I wonder how they arrived at that. But anyway, we got 25 questions, as we usually do. 25 questions this week, and most weeks it's 25. So let's get started. The way this works is people submit their questions in advance. If you want to submit a question for a future show, log on to Debsterism.com. That's DEBSTERISM.com, and submit your question on the form there. We do not guarantee that everybody's question will be chosen. But if you don't send it in, you definitely not going to get your question chosen. So, tighten up your grammar and punctuation, and Candace is more likely to pick it and make, if it's an interesting story that has universal appeal, it's more likely to get chosen as well. So let me switch over to the chat. What's up, everybody? I know I started the show like a minute early because I was like sitting here like open, just waiting. So here we go. This is question number 1. This is a young man in the 20 to 34 age group. He's from Davenport, Iowa. Summary of issue: my girlfriend attacked me in my sleep. My girlfriend had surgery and I took care of her all day. I gave her meds, brought her food. She had oral surgery, swapped ice packs, and made mashed potatoes, etc. till she fell asleep. She woke me up the next day with an effing spray bottle at 7 a.m. because I, quote, wasn't taking care of her, end quote. I told her it was disrespectful and a psychotic thing to do. And then she started attacking me physically. She has done this a couple of times before, but never to this degree. Okay, wait. You mean you've had a girlfriend pummeling on you and you stayed there in the relationship? Okay. She was throwing her fists and anything else she could grab, including glass bottles. I let things calm down, gathered my valuables, and left. I was wondering if anyone has a relationship that survived something like this. I've half made up my mind that we are absolutely done, and it's time to figure out our lease, etc. Deb, have any other guys ever written you about something like this? What did you recommend that they do? I guess I'm really looking for affirmation that breaking up is the right thing. I feel terrible even though she acted like a complete piece of shit. It's stupid. I never thought I could be a victim of DV. I'm a foot taller than her and never really considered what she was doing to be abusive. I let my self-respect and self-worth plummet over the past 2 years, and I'm finally tired of being, quote, the problem. Well, let's see. You have a lease, so I don't know if that's with a single owner or in a complex that, would make a difference. But if it's in a complex, go and talk to them about transferring your lease. She can stay there in under her own lease. But if you're the primary payer of the lease, make an arrangement for them to transfer to another unit. See what they have available. One thing you do not want to do, and I would tell you this if you were my son, don't you go nowhere near that crazy broad. See, this is the kind that would set you up. So she would start some mess and then suddenly claim that she was the victim. She sounds like she's not wrapped too tight. What's making me even more nervous for you is that she has a history of doing this. So you need to stay far, far away from this nut job. I don't know what her game is. I would never think to hit anybody. I mean, especially a man, unless he was doing something he was trying to hurt me. Then all bets are off. But she just wakes up and just starts flailing her fists and kicking and throwing stuff. She's a nut. Stay away from her. See what you can do about the lease, transferring it or whatever. Tell them what's going on. Tell them you want to make sure you stay out of jail. So your best thing for you to do is get away from this girl. If they can't do that or they don't understand, chances are if you tell them what's going on, they'll understand and they might even let you break the lease so you can just move to another situation altogether far away from her. But I would take that approach first and then ask them what they think that, they can help you do, because you're afraid that if you stay there, you'll either end up in a grave or behind bars. And you need their help to help you get away from this girl in this situation as quickly as possible. And if you phrase it to them that way, most people, because they see we don't want that kind of reputation going on in our, in our residence, and they will help you move. So make that, an earnest request and see what happens. Yeah, she gonna spin it because she's that kind. She's that kind that would attack somebody repeatedly like that. This is that kind of mentality, because she's not gonna want to take the fall. That's why he got his stuff and he left. That was the smartest thing he could have done. Now he needs to just stay away from her like forever. Question number 2. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's mixed race from Kansas City, Missouri. The female in question is 22 to 27 and she's white. Summary of issue. My fat fetish is ruining my relationship. Oh, look at who showed up, Canadian brother. Look at you. He got a fat fetish. Okay, let's see what this is going on here. For some context, I've known about this for a while, and I finally had to come to terms with it. I prefer fat but not obese women, and most notably, I like fat in the midsection. Okay, so everybody who likes to eat donuts, let's go find him. I've been in my current relationship. I'm 22 and my girlfriend's 21 for a while, but more recently, I've become more open about this. I told her from the start, but never really got into the details about it. My girlfriend is by no means fat, which is good for her. But recently, she's been trying to get more in shape and lose weight. I'm happy for her, but this comes with the problem that I'm going to, and already have, lost a substantial amount of attraction for her. Don't get me wrong, she is beautiful, but physically I won't be and already somewhat aren't attracted to her anymore. I have brought this problem up with her, and she said that she doesn't want to gain weight, and I don't blame her. We both decided I should just try to get rid of this interest, but that didn't work in the slightest. On one hand, I just want her to be happy. If she wants to be skinny or even maintain her weight now, I want to believe that I would be fine with it. Her happiness should come first. He puts she happiness. But on the other hand, I don't want to suffer through this relationship with someone that I love, but I'm no longer attracted to. She doesn't want to gain weight, meaning that this problem is not going to go away. I don't want to keep suffering because I hate the feeling as though I'm slowly losing attraction, but I don't know if I'm just being selfish. Should I put her happiness in our relationship first or my own happiness? I don't want to end our relationship over something as stupid as this, but I also hate that I'm losing attraction, thus causing me to feel awful. I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure if there's any way to fix this problem. The way to fix this problem is for you to move on, sir. Remember, you're only 21, 20, whatever years old. This is not your life partner. This is a brief stop on the bridge of life. So you deuce out on this and you go find you a woman that turns you on and that you also love. It has to be both. I mean, I don't know why people, try to just negotiate and compromise on feelings and attraction. If you're going to be with somebody in a long-term relationship, you've got to have both. You have to have physical attraction to them where you just look at them and you just want to touch them, and I'm going to be delicate, touch and kiss on them and hold their hands and snuggle with them and all that kind of stuff. And then, you have to admire and respect the person so that you fall in love with them. Okay, so when you got both things working, it's a beautiful thing. But you cannot give up one for the other. It never works. It doesn't work. And you're too young to even think about trying to make it work. And now if somebody was like a retiree on the last leg of their journey of life or something, well, then they might want to compromise that just so they won't be alone. But you're a kid, okay? So you go and you find you somebody else. Let her, I respect the fact that you respect her wishes and her dreams and her goals for herself. That's exactly how you do things. But that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your desires for her desires. Okay, that's where we get into it. And I know it's going to be a lot of women out there, well, he's supposed to love her the way that she is and all this whole stuff here. Yeah, whatever. Just like men stop loving women when they get too fat, a guy who's into chubby girls is going to stop loving you when you get too skinny. That's just the way it is. Physical attraction is one of those things for which there is no rhyme or reason. It just is what it is. And she just ain't doing it for him no more. So it's time to, move on. I don't know if we hilarious or not. I'm just saying. She say we hilarious. I'm just saying. I'm just being, the one thing about this show, I will never lie to you. I will never feed you garbage. I will never, excuse me, be politically correct. My ceiling fan is going and is blowing dust because I'm not a good housekeeper. Because I'm never home. But it just, I just tell you what is. And a lot of times you're not going to like to hear it because you're going to want the pretty cute, very dust-coated, golden flake-coated version of stuff. And we don't do that here. We give it to you the real way that it really is. You can deal with it the real way that it is or not. That's up to you. But I'm not going to change my delivery to make some fake show and fake advice and tell people stuff that's stupid and lies. I'm not going to ever do that. So in a situation like this where you have a guy who openly admits that he's attracted to this, rather different body style, because, most guys not going to admit it. There are a lot of dudes like that. They call them chubby chasers, actually. It has a name. They like that more fleshy body. But they tend to hide, because it's not socially acceptable. Like their friends who are all into skinny girls will tease them and, tease them and their girlfriend and stuff like that. So dudes tend to kind of hide their attraction to that body style. But if they were more open about it, it would be more acceptable. And other guys would be like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And they wouldn't be so tripping about it. But so many young men want the approval of other guys, so they hide who and what they really are and what they really like because they want that male approval. This guy, it seems to be a man that's standing on his own. He don't really care about that kind of stuff. So, I respect and admire this young man very much so. Yes, that's right, Sliver. Straight no chaser. That's exactly it. We don't. I've been accused of being like mean and being mean. You're so mean. You're cruel. You just, intentionally hurt people. What you want from me? Remember, they volunteered to get their feelings hurt because they wrote this letter. Okay, it's not like I went and found them. They found me. And right on the form, it says, if you have sensitive feelings, don't press send. Don't do that, because then your feelings will get super hurt if you happen to catch me on a bad day or you did some dumb shit. So, if it's dumb, I'm just going to tell you it's dumb and you're just going to deal with it. Question number 3. This is a female. She's 22 to 27, African American from Grand Rapids, Michigan. The male in question is 28 to 34 and he's white. Summary of issue. My ex broke up with me, but he still wants to go on vacation together. My boyfriend is 28 and I'm 26, and we've been dating for 2 years. Throughout these 2 years, we had plenty of up and downs. Last week, we went on vacation and got into a heated fight because his ex-girlfriend was magically unblocked on his phone. Things got physical. He called me a racial slur and choked me. Oh, see, that's my biggest fear about dating interracially. That somebody's going to slip up and slide out with some kind of racial slur, and then I'm going to be in prison because we're not doing that. That's been my biggest concern about it. He called me. Okay, I know I should have left him then because DV is not okay. Because he did that out of anger, I told him that I cheated on him when I didn't. However, we talked it out and we enjoyed the rest of our trip. Well, my high school boyfriend has this weird habit of calling me every so often. So the other night when me and my current boyfriend were together, my ex called and my current boyfriend made it a big deal, accused me of cheating on him, even though I didn't. He stormed out of my house and hasn't spoken to me in 2 days. Goodbye and good luck and good riddance. What you worrying about? We worked together and today he walked right past me. We booked a trip together right after our last trip to go to Vegas next month. I paid for the flights, he paid for the hotel. Flights are pretty much non-refundable. I can get an e-credit, but I will lose $250 for the cancellation fee. He booked non-refundable hotels. I know what the right choice is. I just want you to reassure me, I guess. Okay. Don't you have a doctor friend that says, that you are at risk, and wait until right before the ticket is due and then have somebody give you a COVID test that's positive? Say you can't fly. And guess what? The airline will refund your money or give you a full credit e-ticket because it's not your fault. What they going to do? Say it's your fault you caught COVID? That's how you have to do stuff like that. And you can get all your money and don't tell him. Let him figure out what he's going to do about his hotel. That's his problem. The airfare is your problem. I just told you how to solve it. Now, what you also going to do is never deal with this dude again. Okay, once they put their hands on you, see, to me, all bets are off. I mean, that second, all bets are off. And, then he going to, like, top it with the cherry on top with the racial slur on top of that? Psh, girl, I don't know how you stayed on that trip with him. You was really tripping. Question number 4. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from San Diego, California. The male, same age group, 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend told everyone that I'm pregnant 2 days after we found out, and I made it clear I didn't want to tell anybody because I wasn't sure I wanted to keep it, but then he told them anyway. Okay. I'm not happy when I found out I was pregnant. I bawled my eyes out and screamed. I'm not ready to take care of another person as I'm struggling with even taking care of myself and my house. Me and my boyfriend's relationship definitely needs work to be healthy, and he doesn't even have a job. Oh, hell no. What was you doing? You don't sleep with nobody that don't have a job, especially in a jacked up relationship. What were you thinking? He don't deserve any time that he's spending laying on a mattress. His butt should have been up looking for work. Unemployed people should not have a sex life. That's in my opinion. You to have that kind of time and energy, you need to be spending it looking for work. Okay? So you did this all wrong. So let's see what else you screwed up. Deb, we are behind in bills every month and can barely afford stuff like toilet paper. But you making a baby. I made it very clear I'm unsure what I want to do, and I don't want to tell anyone about anything. What you mean you unsure? You in California, you going to march your ass over to Planned Parenthood and handle your business. That's what you're going to do. Broke, stupid young people don't deserve to have a kid. You don't put a kid in a situation like this. It's when some struggle shit. So the kid can grow up in poverty and with 2 stupid parents that are irresponsible. You already know what to do. What you talking about? I don't know what I'm going to do. So 2 days pass, and I find out he has told his grandma, his sister, and his friend, and his mother, who is over at our house often. This absolutely broke me and pissed me off because I didn't even know if I wanted to keep the baby. You don't want to keep the damn baby. I feel, oh my God, this is just so stupid. Trapped and so scared and unhappy about this pregnancy. He says he's sorry. He was just excited and that he has no one to talk about it with. But I think that is BS since he's told 4 people. I don't even know what to say or think. I wanted a few weeks or a month to process things and think about it. I haven't even told any of my friends or family. So what do I do now? What you do now is you go and you make an appointment at the termination clinic, and then you march your happy ass, get one of your friends to take you, and you handle your business. By the time he finds out about it, it'll be over. Then you get on the very strongest, most dependable birth control there is, and you stay on it and you take it religiously. Okay? I don't care if you have to go down to 2 meals a day. You're going to make sure you pay for your birth control. Now, what's going to happen after that? He's going to be upset. His family's going to be upset. And this is what you're going to say to him. Your son is broke. Your son don't have a job. He can't support himself. He's hardly in a position to support a child. Do you know how much daycare is? Do you know how we already struggling? Sometimes we can't even buy toilet paper, but we're supposed to magically be able to buy boxes of Pampers and baby clothes? Did any of you think about this? All you think about is burdening me with the responsibility of a baby. The answer to that question is hell no, that's not happening. It's over, it's done. And he shouldn't have told you. But since he has a big mouth now, I'm telling you that it's gone. There's no baby, and y'all gonna get over it. And that's what you're gonna do. That's what you're going to do. This is a no-brainer. You shouldn't even have had to write this letter. I mean, the fact that I guess you had to tell him. I don't know. I don't think I would have even told him. I just would have went and found out when's the first day I could get rid of it. And then that day I would have been there. And then he could find out about it after. I wouldn't have told his ass shit. Because, people with no job and no money don't need to worry about being nobody's daddy. That's not part of your program, sir. You not there yet. Well, some people can't use IUDs, but if she's a good candidate for it, then that's fine. But whatever she uses, it needs to be dependable. It needs to be something that is going to, last to get them through this situation that they in. Personally, I wouldn't be with nobody who's broken, don't have no money. But, everybody's not me. Question number 5. This is a young lady in the 35 to 41 age group from Manchester, England, male, same age group. Summary of issue. I was misled by flirting messages. Am I being stupid or is it him? Well, if it's flirting messages and you put too much on it, then that's you. But let's see what the story is. My ex and I have been on and off for a number of years, and things ended again in June. By me, as I couldn't forgive him for past issues. Within the past few weeks, we have been messaging, and I find that things do lead back to nook chats, mainly by him, and while I enjoy the flirtation, I couldn't help but overthink it. Today, he was joking around that he wanted a 35-year-old, which is my age, and making jokes about me dressing up as a nurse for him. I was enjoying him showing interest in me again, and I do still love him, but we have found it hard to be together in the past. He has commitment issues, etc., so I need to be careful with my heart around him. Tonight, I simply asked, quote, why do you enjoy messaging me like this? And he became very defensive. I explained I thought it was important to have an adult conversation now, and I needed to know his intentions. He kept saying it wasn't just him behind the messages, and that he didn't want anything with me, that they were just text messages, and he's not thinking about it much. I'm hurt and feel pathetic that I've been reading into these messages that clearly mean nothing to him. I feel he's been leading me on, and I don't want to say that to him to let him know he has that power over me. Am I being too sensitive, and should I call him out on his behavior? His behavior. You know how they spell it in the UK. Okay, you 35 to 41 and you stupid as hell. Let me just say that. First of all, some man talking to you, and this is something I tell little girls because, they don't know. They at the, fresh end, they just starting to date and deal with dudes. So these things they don't know. Your ass on the downstroke to 40 and you still tripping like this? Any man that you not with, I mean, he ain't coming home to you that night or any other, and he starts having, nook text conversations or text messages, exchanges with you, and you participate in that nonsense, then you're showing yourself to be, what's the word I would want to use in this case, desperate and a trollop. Okay, and I know that may sound harsh, but that's what you're doing. Okay, because you just all into some bedroom activity with somebody that you're not with. What are you doing? There's people in that line of work and they charge for it. You doing the shit for free. Dumb. And you doing with somebody that you already know is done with you, that's stupid, has commitment issues, and all the other things that you said, and yet you're entertaining him. Why did you not block him when you guys broke up? Why do you keep your line available so he can still call you and text you? You know why? Because you, like I said, desperate and a trollop. because only a woman with no sense of value of herself would allow herself to be involved in some kind of exchanges like that with some raggedy ass motherfucker that she knows doesn't even want her. He has no interest in you at all. He didn't have any before, and he definitely don't have any now, and yet here you are. And you probably are sitting over there crying right now because you're frustrated and mad at yourself. And you should do that. You should be mad at yourself. You should grow up because you are too old for this to be getting all caught up in some fucking texts. What's wrong with you? Oof. Exactly. What is wrong? Slivers ain't got trollified. Girl, you know, I was trying to think of a different word, but that's what came to mind, so that's what came out of my mouth. But that's how it is. I mean, that's how the dudes will view you. You know, these girls think that, you know, they talk to these guys and they think that he's showing interest in them. He's showing interest in one part of your body, not in you. He don't care about nothing about you as a person. He's not trying to get to know you. He's not trying to fall in love with you. He's not trying to be your man, do stuff for you, be dependable for you. Nothing. He's not on that page with you. He's just trying to see how desperate and how much of a trollop you are, and if you're going to engage in intimate chats and conversation with a relative stranger or some raggedy ass ex. And if you do that, then like I said, you just like girlfriend, desperate and a trollop. So just own it. Get your shit together. Question number 6. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Leeds, England. Summary of issue. We were on a video call, but his room is so messy, I got disgusted. I'm very particular when it comes to cleanliness. My room is aesthetic and color coordinated. I make sure I keep upgrading it with fairy lights, my paintings, pretty furniture, Polaroids, etc. Oh, you're doing the most. I just like my shit plain. I still remember when my ex video called me and his hostel, I don't know how you pronounce it, whatever room made me nauseous. It looked so messy. I was immediately turned off and I knew I'll break up with him soon, and thankfully he cheated. Thankfully, wow. Personally, I think it's okay to be minimalistic and simple, but clutter and messiness is horrible. How on earth do you live in a place that looks like a gutter? At least organize your things. What the fuck? My current partner's video called me and his room is so messed up. I want to ask him to clean it up, but I don't want it to come off as mean. He's amazing in every other way. I'm starting to wonder, do all guys have messy rooms? Probably. Except for, my brothers. I swear it was like they were in the military. I just never seen anything like it. Spick, span, shit organized and lined up, exactly spaced apart shirts, all kind of stuff. Then you go down the hall to my room, look like a bomb went off. But yeah, they've always been like that. I don't understand it. All three of them. That's neat, not just like neat freaks would iron their jeans and put the crease in them. That used to be the style, in the olden days. They put the crease in their jeans and stuff. Jeans be all starched and stiffed and whatnot. And I'll just be looking at them. I pull my shit out the dryer, shake it a couple of times, and put it on. So we have very different, different ideas. But, there's nothing wrong with you. If you're going to be going over to dude's house, you tell him, as soon as you clean up your room, I'll come over. That'll give him a motivation. That's all you have to say. He'll clean it. Question number 7. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Montreal, Canada. Summary of issue. Exes are coming out of the woodwork. Deb, she says with a whole bunch of exclamation marks. In the past 3 weeks, 3 of my exes have reached out to me. One I'm on decent terms with, and I was just regarding watching his cat for a weekend while he's out of town. Oh, it was about that, okay. But the other 2 did me dirty and both reached out to ask me out. I blocked them both as I am in a relationship and likely wouldn't want to see them again anyway. You should have blocked them as soon as you broke up with them. So at least you did it, but you all tardy. But it's so strange that it's everyone at once. It's been silent for a very long time. What do you make of this? It's about to be cuffing season. We can roll it into the fall, October, November, December, right, y'all? It's about to be cuffing season. So they going through their Rolodex of old flames and old phone numbers of people they haven't called to see who's available for cuffing. You know what cuffing is. I'm not going to be specific today. I'm trying to watch my language. But, yeah, that's all that is. They want somebody to stay warm next to during the wintertime, and they're trying to see if you, single and available and interested in their bullshit. But obviously you're in a relationship, so you're not. So go through your phone and all of your exes, block them immediately so you don't have to deal with this again. Yep, winter is coming. You know, and the Dusty's going to be looking for a place to roost. Oh, can I stay at your house for a couple of days? Then it's, or you know, it's a couple of weeks. Well, you did after that. It's like, well, you know, I don't have no place to go. I don't have no place to go. Can I just stay here? Yeah. Question number 8. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group from Boston. Summary of issue. My husband tossed a drink in my face and he's still living. And I'm conflicted about whether I should leave or not. Oh, that means you're not going nowhere. Because the fact that you conflicted about somebody doing that to you, that is an act of aggression. Total and complete disrespect. I don't know what I would have to do to him, like a whole pot of water or something. If he threw a drink, I'm going to throw like a whole pitcher. Something is going to come of a magnitude that's 4 times what you did. So she says, my husband and I got into a disagreement and he tossed a drink in my face. We are in our early 40s and have been together for almost 20 years. And this is not the first time we have had arguments that escalated to this level. Oh, really? And yet you stayed. He has broken my personal belongings as well as things in the house. Even though we were at home when he tossed the drink, I still felt extremely humiliated. We are supposed to be reconciling after a separation. I feel like I don't know what to do as we love each other very much and have 4 daughters. What advice can you give me? Okay, let's twist this around. Let's flip this around. If one of your babies came to you and said, my boyfriend, husband, whatever, threw a drink in my face, what would you feel as her mother? I know I would be getting my piece and dragging my daughter. We get ready to go over there and put in some work on home skillet. You don't treat my daughter like that. So if you're not going to accept that kind of stuff for your daughter, then why would you accept it for yourself? And the fact that you have 4 daughters means nothing. That just means he's going to have visitation and child support up the yin yang. That's what that means. And, you already had a separation and this is how he comes back. He don't want to reconcile with you. That's a very clear message that you, in his mind, are trash, garbage, nothing that he has to show any respect or concern for. So the handwriting's on the wall. I don't know what you're talking about, whether you should leave or not. He's checked out of this relationship a long time ago. The only one seeming to be hanging on to it is you. Talking about we were reconciling. You ain't reconciling shit. Girl, I just can't even imagine what kind of fool I would become if somebody threw a drink in my face. Question number 9. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group. He's Latino from Fresno, California. The female is 50 to 55. Ooh, wait a minute. This is his mother, an older woman. Summary of issue. My girlfriend is stealing from me. Okay, girlfriend. We've been dating very long at all, just 3 months. I'm 31 and she is 53. Oh, she got her at 10 Brony. And lately, after nights when she spends the night and goes home, when I leave for work, I'll notice stuff is missing. At first, it started with my medical Mary J. I keep all of my stuff in a drawer where it's out of sight. But after a few times where she spent the night and I would wake up before, I noticed my stash was starting to look a bit light. When I said something to her about it, she pretty much brushed it off and acted like I got too drunk/wasted and probably smoked a lot. However, on that particular occasion, I recall only having 1 drink before bed, so I know I wasn't as effed up as she was trying to make it out to be. Okay. A week or so goes on and we hang out the following weekend. I start monitoring my stuff more closely, including the money in my wallet. It was a Saturday, and I remember before she came over, I counted $48 in cash, a 20, 2 tens, and 8 singles. The next morning, a $10 bill was missing out of my wallet. When I confronted her about it, she didn't get defensive or anything. She acted like I lost my mind. She gaslighted me into believing that I must have miscounted, but I know how much I had. I get that it's only $10, but it's the principle. I've told this woman time and time again, if she needs anything, just ask me. Flash forward to a couple of days ago when she stayed over. I had literally just went grocery shopping the day before she came over to stay. I checked my freezer just now to pull out a tray of chicken and noticed that at least half of the meat I bought is gone. She's the only person who's been in my place, so I know she stole from me. And I know when I confront her about it, she's going to have some bullshit lie ready for me on the fly. The food thing, I don't even fucking understand. She gets food stamps, whereas I don't even get any kind of benefits like that because I make too much money. So what little food I have comes out of my own pocket. If anything, I'm more disappointed in myself than anything for falling for this shit with yet another user. And I plan on ending this shit, but I don't know really how to approach it in a calm manner without being hostile towards her. It's okay to be hostile. Whoever said you couldn't be hostile when somebody's stolen what sounds like to be between the Mary J and the food, probably over $100 worth of stuff from you, maybe more. As expensive as packs of chicken are, and she done took half your stuff. Well, the reason why I'm going to tell you the reason why she felt comfortable doing that is because even though you complained about, these things being missing, you didn't really take any action. You didn't tell her give you your money back. You didn't, you make her give you cash to reimburse you for the stuff that she, the Mary J that she stole. And so now she done, stole some food. Now she's escalated. So she said the cost of everything that she's taking is escalating. So what I would suggest that you do is call her. She's not to come back to your house. You ain't going to hers. And you're going to say, you're a thief and I can't with you. So as of this moment, I'm blocking your number. Don't ever call me again and just leave me alone. Okay? And in the future, sir, you say this sounds like this is a pattern for you, that you deal with people that are users. Please establish some better boundaries. So as soon as you see something that looks out of pocket, you need to correct people. You need to just pull them up and say, look, we ain't doing that. So, if that's the game that you're trying to run, you in the wrong camp. You need to either fix that or get out of my life, because I'm not going to be dealing with that shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, you don't have to go meet her in person. I would suggest that you not, because she's just going to gaslight you anyway. Just do it over the phone and stay a safe distance away from her. And then as soon as, you're finished, then you block her number. And really, she's too old for you anyway. That's the main thing. I was like, what you doing with some woman 20-something years older than you? What you and getting food stamps, and you got a job. Can't you pick a better quality woman? You pick like some dregs of society, old ass bitch that's broke. And then you want to be surprised that she's a thief and a crook and a liar. Dude, please pick better. Okay, choose better. You're a young man, you probably not ugly. You got your little stuff working, you got your place, you got your food, you got a job. Get it together, okay? Pick a woman that's more on your level and don't just be with any old body. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Toronto, Canada. The male is 20 to 34. Survey of issues. Should I be worried that my boyfriend's female coworker has a crush on him? No, not unless he has a crush back. But let's see what the story is. My boyfriend and I, he's 29 and I'm 27, been together for 6 years. Oh my God, why? Lived together for 3. He's never been unfaithful to me, nor has his past actions given me any reason to doubt his fidelity. But recently I have started to feel insecure about his relationship with a female coworker who he's formed a bond with. They message each other nonstop throughout the workday. 80% of the conversation about non-work related things, asking how each other's weekend was, inside jokes about sports, recommending movies and shows, etc. The subject matter is innocent enough, but it's the message's frequency that worries me. I've never known him to be a prolific texter, even with me, but their conversations stretch on nonstop for hours, most days ending only when she clocks out. The messages aren't overtly flirty, but there's a rapid-fire, playful banter quality to them, and his conversations with his other coworkers aren't as extensive. Granted, he's only messaged her outside of work hours a couple of times when there's a big sports game on, and they have never hung out outside of work, though they have tried to make plans to. Oh, really? So he trying to go on a date with this broad? I don't think he'll ever cheat on me. I do. But should I be worried about her intentions? She's usually the one initiating conversations, oftentimes messaging him right when he gets into work. And she knows about our relationship as he has mentioned me casually multiple times. But from my past experience, I've only ever messaged a guy to the extent that they message each other when I have a crush on them. Please help. This is a conversation that you need to have with homeboy, not me. And what you need to do is ask him, okay, what is the goal here? If this were my man, this is how I would approach it. I would sit him down. I say, I noticed that you're spending a lot of time and energy texting with this woman. You spend more time and energy texting with her than you do with me. Are you aware of that? You pose it like a question. So he's gonna get no, that's not true. Oh, yes, it is. Pull out your phone and say, let me see the number of texts I have, and pull out your phone and look at how many you text with her. There's the proof right there, home skillet. And then he's going to say, well, it's just about this and that. I said, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is all of this this constant communication and sharing of information back and forth is building something between the two of you. And I'm finding it to be rather disconcerting. So I want you to stop. I want you, if you talk to somebody, you talk to them about work, doing work hours, and you talk to them not on your personal cell phone. That's something for, your real world life, not your work life. Now, if this is a request that you don't want to meet, can't meet, feel is unbearable to meet or anything like that, then I will consider our 6-year relationship to have come to an end. And because, you no longer respect what my feelings and concerns are about your emotional connection to another woman. I find it very, very disconcerting. And I just want to bring it to your attention. But, the final decision maker about this is going to be you. I can't make you do anything, but I'm just telling you what I'm not going to take. And that would be me. Notice, did I raise my voice? Did I call him names? I didn't. I just laid it out there. And then that's when you get up and you walk away. You let him stew on that. And then whatever move he makes after that, you got to make your decision. Because one thing, like, you have to understand, when a man starts making an emotional investment in a woman that's not his partner, then the path is set for the cheating. The physical part is connected to the emotional part, because he's going to be tied to her from all this interaction that they've had. He may not be really, really aware of what's going on. I'm not consciously, but that's why you want to bring it to his attention. That's how I would do it if it were me. That is the conversation that I would have with him. And I would just look at him and just tell him, that he's going to be one of the two. Either you're going to stop talking to this bitch like that and talk only about work stuff during work hours, nothing else. You ain't going nowhere with her. You're not going to be telling jokes with her. You're not going to be doing all this other stuff here. Or we're going to be broken up, and then you can do that with her 24/7, because she can move in and I'll move out. And then just tell me. I'm not going to be trying to fight for you or nothing like that. We're just dating. You're not my husband. I'm not your wife. And, just be just real matter of fact about it. There's nothing to really be, I don't know. That's why my daddy used to tell me that you ain't never really been in love. And I said, why would you say that horrible thing to me? And he's like, because you just don't, he said, I don't care. And he's right. I mean, I care, but I care about me more than I will ever care about a man. So it's like, in a situation like that, my presentation to him would be about, this is your chance to redeem yourself, because if you don't, then I'm going to stop caring about you on the spot, and I'm going to only care about me. And that's the warning that I would be giving him. I'm not going to sacrifice myself. I'm not going to cry about you. I'm not going to be going to your job, acting a fool, going to her house, stalking. I'm not going to do any of that. I maintain my dignity at all times. And my dignity be to approach him, because that's your man. That's the one you're in a relationship with. So the conversation should be him about his behavior, not about what she's doing. Your focus was a lot on her, and that's inappropriate. Your focus should be on him and what he's doing. And then you correct, you check him on what he's doing, and then you give him the A and B choice. And if whichever one he chooses that's not you, then that's your answer right there. But knowing me, I would be giving him all kind of side eye and be kind of like, I'd be on the phone finding me talking to Rollo and them. They too can play this game. Because, most men, I mean, you can talk to them, but they don't get it until they feel it. So when they see you on the phone just giggling and you texting and stuff with some dude, then he'll get it. It's like, well, why is it? You can do it, but I can't. Why? What is that? So you've been texting people all day long. So I have a couple hours of chat back and forth with somebody, and you flipping out. But is this you got to have a double standard here? What's going on? That's how I do, dudes. You gonna get the same energy back that you gave me. I'm not gonna fight with you about it. We're not gonna argue and fuss and cuss and flip out. You just gonna get a dose. Question number 11. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Brighton in the UK. Summary of issue. My mum just told me that God will punish me for all the sadness I have caused her because I'm not married like she wanted me to be. Oh, we come from a culture where people marry early, especially women. I'm 26 now, and my mom has been trying to pressure me to get married since I was 22. My mom. I was neglected and emotionally abused as a kid, and I find it hard to get into relationships and trust people. I also fear commitment. I'm working on myself and going to therapy without her knowing, of course. Every time we get the news that someone is getting married, my mom goes crazy and she starts treating me differently. She's almost making it hard on me to be happy for others. I don't know how she wants to make me feel. I do want to be in a happy relationship and eventually get married and have a family, but I haven't met someone right for me yet. She's introducing people to me, but I refuse to meet them. I don't trust her judgment in men. I almost feel like I don't want anything coming from her side. Today is my best friend's wedding, and I was in the room putting nail polish on, and out of nowhere, my mother said, well, why are you not getting married? God will punish you for all the sadness you have caused me. I was like, lol, what? And looked at her. She was dead serious. I told her to stop this negative attitude. She was like, I'm serious. I told her I'm not responsible for your sadness. You're responsible for it. And she just walked away looking sad. I'm feeling very down and sad. I'm open to suggestions and advice. You don't look sad. Girl, next time your mother does that, I want you to jump up. And if you have to look on TikTok or YouTube or whatever for whatever the latest dance moves are, you start doing them, making your own music, and you start doing your little dance and stuff. And you say, you know what, Mom, this is how happy I am that I'm not married, so I don't have to be dealing with men and their shit. And then you're going to be getting it and just dancing around your mother and just having yourself it's a party for one. And then and every time that she brings it up, don't buy into it. Laugh in her face and say, I'm not trying to be in that trick bag. I'm loving being single. Single is the best thing ever. I can do what I want to. I can go where I want to go. I can date 50 dudes if I want to. I don't have to be stuck with just one. Things like that. So you're taking it too seriously and you buying into, this sense of daughterly duty or something like that. Flip it around and have fun with it. Have fun taunting her, letting her know that you don't give a shit what she's talking about. You really don't. So stop acting like you do. Don't buy into it. Just go crazy on showing her that you just don't care and that whatever she's talking about is not your problem, not your concern, and you don't care what she's thinking or what she's feeling. And if she want to be sad, she can be sad by herself. That's what I would do. I would be so unbothered. I'd be like, girl, let me show you my new dance moves I learned off of TikTok. Question number 12, love or addiction? My good friend's sister has been trapped in a toxic relationship off and on for 3 years. Anytime she tries to end it, she gets weak. He manipulates it back. She continues to suffer. Okay, this is stuck together. Hold on. It's been so humid. The paper got puffy. She's been so miserable, and they are even long distance. Wow. Here's a kicker. She found out that she has cheated on him for 4 months. He found out. A month later, she started doing it again with the same guy. Got caught again. Then again 3 months later for 6 months before being caught again. How her boyfriend was willing to put up with this is insane to me. Anyhow, the sister claims that she loves him, so it's hard to let go. My friend and I 100% think it's simply an addiction and possible trauma bond. She insists that she loves him. My thing is, you love someone. How on earth do you cheat on them for months? 3 separate occasions, in spite of knowing how bad that has hurt him. opinion. Why do you give a shit about other people's relationships so much? Get you some business and stay out of hers. If she want to cheat and he's happy with it, then why is that your problem? For all you know, he's doing the same thing, right? You don't know what he's doing on his end. You only have one part of the picture, and here you are making all kind of judgments and being all kind of condemning and all that shit. And what I want you to do is go and mind your damn business. Stay out of your friend's sister's affairs. Okay, it's not even your sister, and it's not your friend. Your friend's sister's business. Your friend need to shut the fuck up anyway, gossiping about her sister's business like that. See what I say about women talking too much? She gonna be telling some. I mean, that's her friend. It's not her sister's friend. So basically, some rando, all her sister's personal affairs and business like that. I want you to mind your business, okay? So I'm not going to answer this letter other than to tell you to get you some business and stay your nose out of hers. Question number 13. This is a female, 22 to 27, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Summary of issue: my child's daddy left. My baby daddy left us before the baby was even born, and he had met someone else. He moved in with her and her own kids and never made contact with us again. Due to this, he's never met the child, and I couldn't even put him on the birth certificate. Oh, is that right? Just after her third birthday, out of the blue, he gets in contact with the lawyer for access. This is the first time he made contact since months before the baby was born. Obviously, I couldn't get my head around this as he was still with that same woman and happy with her from what I've heard on the grapevine. He had no interest in my kid up until then. So why a random interest now? I replied to his lawyer agreeing to discuss access, but they never got back to me. He disappeared again. He wanted you to say hell no so he could start a fight. Now this has been playing on my mind for a while. Why would he decide out of nowhere to show interest in her, and then when I agreed to entertain the idea, he disappeared again? Now, despite what he did, this is actually an intelligent guy with a good job, so running out of money certainly wouldn't have been the issue, nor would a reluctance to pay child support. So what do you and the squad think? He doesn't pay child support as originally I had no idea where he was, and then it got to the point where I had no interest in him or his money. I know she's entitled to it, and we might cross that bridge at a later date, but that's not why I sent you this letter. So what the fuck you want me to do? You had a baby by Dusty, and now he went on to somebody else. I mean, so he went and got a lawyer and stuff. Although he did that most likely because the woman that he's with, like, she has a couple of kids and he's over there playing daddy with her kids. And she probably asked him, this is the scenario in my mind that I could see from having experience with these things. She bugged him about it. So he went and got a lawyer to send you that letter. So then whatever the lawyer told him, he's going to twist the story to her so that it's like, she don't want me to see my kid, this and that. No matter what the lawyer said, that's the story that the girlfriend is going to get. That, it's a lost cause. She don't want to, blah, 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 blah. He's not going to pursue it. He's just going to let it go. And, blah, 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 all this old stuff here. That's the way they drag it on, but they usually pull in situations like that. So I think it's that. She was on him to make contact with his daughter, and he put forth a little, token gesture. But he has no real interest in that child. But I do recommend, though, now that you have his contact information, that you file for child support. Even if you feel like you don't need it, put all the money in an account for your daughter for her future. Every payment, put it in an account for her so she can go. You have it to go to college, to put a down payment on a house, whatever she needs. If you don't need it for her care right now, I want you to do that. But you get that money for that baby from that fool. Okay, he over there taking care of that woman and her kids. He should take care of his children, his child. Question number 14. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's black, from Bradford, West Yorkshire in the UK. Summary of issue: I'm dealing with a history of persistent, unwanted attention from men, and it's left me struggling to trust them and questioning if I can overcome these feelings to have a healthy relationship in the future. Hi, Deb and Candace. A friend of mine who listens to your show suggested that I ask you about my dilemma, so here goes. I'm 24 years old, and I've had to deal with unwanted attention from men for pretty much as long as I can remember. It's gotten to a point where I don't know how to navigate relationships anymore because of how sick it makes me feel. I think we can all attest to having experienced these feelings. I want to make it clear when I say sexualized, I'm talking about comments, advances, and moves that have been made by just about every man I've encountered post puberty. To clarify, this goes beyond close family and school staff. These encounters involve people that I've worked with, strangers on the street, classmates, tutors, people who I thought were friends, and even extended family members. I consider myself reserved and I make an effort to dress modestly, but none of that seems to matter. It's because men are disgusting. The language that has been thrown my way has been truly nasty, and I generally don't invite this kind of attention. Comments about my face and my body, things they would like to do to me. I simply do not understand how I could be attracting this kind of attention, especially for them to be saying it to my face. The idea of having a simple platonic male friend feels like a distant dream. It's like a waiting game for when they'll cross the line. It's affecting my view of men, painting them as nothing but desperate creeps, which I know is a generalization I need to address. Why? Has it not been proven to be true? See, that's the part I don't understand why women want to fight reality so much. Everything that you said every man that you've ever interacted with has done something or said something inappropriately sexual to you. And yet here you are. But, I know it's a generalization, but I need to address it's not a generalization. It's a factual statement based on your personal experience. There's a difference. Okay, you're not pulling this out your ass. These are things that actually happen to you. So I don't understand what you're talking about, why you're condemning yourself and saying it's a generalization. And I also don't understand why you're taking the blame for their behavior by saying that you're attracting it. You're not attracting it. Men are just creepy weirdos. And they just have this weirdo sense of entitlement until they meet the right woman and she cusses them the fuck out or pokes them with an ice pick or shoots them. And then they get a whole new understanding about what they better do with their hands and their mouths. But you're young. And unfortunately, when you're young, that's when they're going to come out the woodwork. It's just they look for people that they think are naive and easy to victimize because you don't know nothing. And most young girls are very insecure and they want people to like them. And so they don't really have their voice yet and they don't really speak up. Like a little hood rat girl, she's like, motherfucker. But most young girls, don't have that. And to think how the young girl had to get that. How she had to get tough like that. What did she have to deal with to get that tough? So it's the, you look at, not one woman who has come to this channel has ever said that she never had any situation like that. Every single one has multiple stories to tell. Multiple. And the more time you spend online, and if you're young, you really gonna have them because here they come. Like sliding into your DMs and stuff like that. Walking down the street, on the bus, on the train, wherever. Here they come. Just all in your face talking shit to you that you're not interested. You don't know these clowns. You ain't trying to know them. But here they are. Miss Lady, can I holler at you for a minute? Girl, you show is this and that. Just unwanted, just stupid comments. Just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares what you want either. Shut up, clown. Just desperate and ugly. So, we all have this experience, and it's tragic that women cannot move through the world without men fucking bothering us. They just can't seem to just shut up and mind their own damn business. They always got to have their nose in some woman's business, trying to tell you to smile, trying to put their hands on you, standing too close, you violating your space boundaries. Saying inappropriate things to you, even hollering at, little student girls and stuff. They're children, and they don't care. They don't care. So I don't, so you say you're struggling with this growing resentment and anger. I can't take men seriously anymore when they express interest because it feels like they're just trying to manipulate me into giving them what they want. Of course they are. It's like I can see through their acting and it infuriates me. I find myself questioning their intentions and viewing them as nothing more than animalistic. I'm starting to worry about how this will affect my future. I want to be in a healthy relationship, but I don't know if these feelings I've developed towards men will allow it. Don't get me wrong, I'm attracted to men as a heterosexual woman, but the constant frustration is overwhelming. How do I move forward from this? How can I learn to trust men again and engage in a relationship without this cloud of negativity hanging over me? You don't worry about it. Let me tell you why. Because a man who's going to come into your life, who's going to be about something, is going to put in the work for you to break down those walls and for you to start trusting him. And he's not going to approach you like a dusty. You meeting dudes on the street, dudes walking up to you talking about they're interested and they want to get your number and stuff, that he's after some ass. Dudes that you don't know, they're not in your class and stuff like that at school, and they just see you on campus and they come. Talk about, can I get your number? This and that. No, you cannot. They're not interested in you as a person. They don't know you as a person. They're not trying to get to know you as a person. If someone's trying to get to know you as a person would want to have a conversation. Not the first thing they're trying to do is get your number. That should come later after they've had some exchanges with you. So there's an order to this when a guy is serious. So I don't think this is anything that you should be worried about for your future. Just deal with your feelings now. I mean, if you want to, you can look into some counseling for it because sometimes you have a lot of anger, which I understand. That's not going to be very helpful to you. But the fact that the anger is properly directed at the people for doing the things to you that they did and saying the things to you that they said is not it's not misplaced. What I'm talking about is you finding a way to deal with it and accept it. Because right now you're condemning yourself and blaming yourself for feeling this way. And I'm telling you that your feelings are valid. They deserve for you to have the feelings about them that they do because they're trash and garbage. What Maggie say? Yeah, they nothing but dust. You right, girl. Complete and total dust. Question number 15. This is a young man in 18 to 21, age group from Springfield, Missouri. Third issue. My girlfriend teases me with names so frequently that it's getting on my last nerve. Am I too sensitive? I'm going to date my girlfriend for 8 months now, and it's been going well. She loves to tease me with funny nicknames like old man or whatever, and I don't really mind them, and I think it's cute. But one of them has gotten on my nerves, though. Sometimes she calls me the Grinch, which I'm not really a fan of, but I guess I'm okay with it. It don't sound like it because you wrote about it. But it felt kind of offensive when she kept calling me that so frequently when I pick up the phone and say goodnight or even when I love you. Her teasing can be very cute, but it's not nice to be called a Grinch, especially because of the way he looks, and it became annoying and kind of mean. Am I being too sensitive? No. Because the main thing about those kind of things, people might be joking and they might think it's funny. But if you don't like it and you're not laughing, because jokes are supposed to be funny so that everybody in the room laughs, not just the person who's, doing it. So the fact that you're not laughing and you find it offensive, that should be enough. And you should tell her, look, I don't want you calling me that. As a matter of fact, don't call me anything anymore except my name. And if that's too hard for you, sweetie, honey, darling, or my name, that's it. Those are your choices. You call me anything else, we're going to have a problem in this relationship because it has an edge of aggression to it. And I know you might not see it that way, but I do. When everybody starts calling you negative, nasty nicknames, of course, you could always do Deb style and start thinking, what does she look like? She's, start calling her a Oompa Loompa or something else. Women, they be tripping about their little figures. Just say, or did she short, call her Smurfette or something, something that's going to get on her nerves. Something that's going to get on her nerves, and you start calling her that. And then when she says, I don't like it when you say that. Well, I don't like it when you call me Grinch. You going to stop? You stop calling me Grinch, and I'll stop calling you whatever name you pick. But it's going to be a doer that we both going to stop it, or we both going to do it. That's the way it's going to be. Which one do you want? Yeah. Call her a gremlin? Okay, Sliver came up with a good one. She called you Grinch, say, what's up, gremlin? Ooh, them little gremlins was ugly. Except for the one that was cute until he got wet. He was kind of cute with them big ears, but then they just looked kind of gross after they got wet. Wasn't it water that made them turn like that? But yeah, I just, you got to think of some way to fire back, something that's going to make her that's not going to make her feel too good. That's what you have to do to her. She thinks the shit is hilarious. I couldn't have a girlfriend who called me names, though. Young lady, 22 to 27 in the UK. Some issue. My husband fancies my friend. Me and my husband spent about 18 months hanging out with this other couple. I'd known the girl for years, and my husband only recently got to know her, but made friends with her other half. We only met when drinking was involved. Basically, I figured out that my, quote, friend, for some reason, was trying to break up me and my husband. She would flirt like mad when I wasn't there and make up things he had said or done to try and get us to argue. This would happen every few months, starting small and getting worse. Eventually, I called her out on it and we fell out. Now I found out that my husband actually fancies her and finds her, quote, really attractive. Yes, the idiot actually told me. Even though we don't see them anymore, I just can't get over the fact that when she was flirting with him, he was actually enjoying the attention. That's how I see it anyway. I keep asking him if he finds her attractive, and he says it doesn't matter what he thinks, as we don't see them anymore. The thing is, we live in a small town, and he's bound to bump into her now and again. I said I want him to ignore her and not speak to her if he ever sees her. And he says he won't do that as he's not rude. She looks the complete opposite to me, so now I'm paranoid that he doesn't fancy me anymore and now has a new type. Am I just being paranoid, or should I be annoyed with him for not being more sensitive towards the subject? He just keeps saying that I'm going over the top and there isn't even an issue. So a real life woman that you guys socialize with, your husband sits in your face and tells you that he finds her really attractive and he fancies her. I would have to find me somebody to fancy too. He couldn't get away with that. He could not get away with that. And I don't know, it's just so sad that so many women have these kind of issues with their husbands. It's like, what is wrong with these men? The only bitch your ass is supposed to be fancying is the one that you married to. That's what he would have got from me. Motherfucker, what? You done lost your mind. Let me tell you what, though. Let me find out about you doing anything that untoward with her or anybody else, and you better run, because I'm coming for you. I was scared the shit out of him. And don't think it's just, you're going to eat the food I cooked, and you're going to lay up in the bed next to me asleep. I'm going to get you. I don't have to fight you toe to toe, but I will get you. So you better watch your back. If you decide to do any shit like that, I'm coming for you. So I was scared the shit out of him. Because they want to sit there. He'd be scared to eat or drink anything in the house. And I was like, well, you got your bottle of liquor over there. Are you sure it's okay? You left it sitting there. I had access to it. Are you sure it's all right? Have him pouring out his $60 cognac and all kind of stuff because he would be scared. But I just like to fuck with men's minds like that. It's like, oh, is that what we doing? So you gonna try to fuck with mine? Let me show you how it's done, son. Yeah, it would turn me all the way off too. But my motto: do unto others before they do unto you. So he would have to be dealt with. He couldn't, I would just sit there and look at him like, oh, is that what we doing? Like, okay. And I'd be plotting his demise. So certain things, men just should know there's just certain things you don't do and you don't say to your wives and girlfriends. You just don't. You keep your mouth shut. You can think it all you want to. You could get drunk with your buddies and at the bar down the street, and you can talk about it all you want to. But you don't never say certain things to your wife or girlfriend because you're putting your life at risk. If you with somebody crazy, you just don't know. Some of these women are just not wrapped too tight. Me being one of them. Question number 17. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group from San Jose, California. Summary of issue. My husband disclosed to me that a sexual harassment complaint has been lodged against him at work. And he confessed, but I'm wondering if he told me the whole story. What would you do, Deb? Oh, boy. Another husband. My husband had been married since our early 20s, and he has cheated on me one time before we were married. We were just out of high school. He confessed it to me, even though it was unlikely he would have ever been found out. We went through a difficult period in our marriage about 6 months ago. We were still together, but we weren't sure whether we would be staying together. But last week, my husband came to me and explained that he has been formally reprimanded by HR for sexual harassment. He said that during that rough patch, he was closing up the office, and a coworker he was friends with was also working there, working late. They were talking, and he asked if he could kiss her, and she said no. He says that he has done his best to stay away from her since then, partially due to it being awkward, and partially because he realized as soon as she said no, that it was a major misstep. Idiot. It would have been one if she said yes too, you idiot. Anyways, although he was formally reprimanded, he has worked for the company for years, and his job is not in any danger. He asked for a department transfer, which is something he wanted anyway, but now the office will probably agree, so that stuff isn't the issue. I have no reason to think he's lying, but I'm curious whether all he asked was to kiss her. Would she really have kept quiet about a kiss request for half a year? I want to reach out and get her side of the story. We are acquaintances from office parties and such, but I am worried it would get him in more trouble at work. I know he wouldn't have pushed himself physically on someone, but I can see him propositioning someone beyond a kiss. What would you do, Deb? Would you just take him at his word so he has never lied before about this kind of thing? Or would you reach out to the other person to see if the stories align? Should I just drop it? I would drop it. The reason is this. That is an internal company matter. I know you're curious and you want to know and you feel like since you're his wife that you should know. But it happened at work. Okay, so work is handling it. It has nothing to do with you. If they were to disclose that information to you about their employees, it would be a violation of their privacy and set that company up for a legal action. Likewise, if you reach out to that woman and start asking her any questions, that's totally inappropriate. She has a legal action pending against your husband. You, as the wife, don't reach out to her and ask her shit. Have you lost your mind? You just, you so focused on trying to prove him wrong or whatever. I don't know what you're trying to do. But this has nothing to do with you. This is him and his red wagon and him and his misbehavior. All you have to do decide is, since he admitted it, is, ask your husband, what the fuck was you trying to do? Asking somebody if you were alone at night and asking them for a kiss or touching them, whatever you did, what were you thinking was going to happen? That's the kind of conversation you need to be having with him. And then you stand up and slap him upside the head with something a couple of times. He needs his head bopped. Because hopefully you can bop some sense into him so he doesn't do anything stupid like this ever again. It's like, I don't know what the hell is your problem, but you don't bring shit like that to your job, you idiot. You don't do shit like that at work. These men, they just cannot seem to control themselves for 5 seconds. But no, you're not going to do nothing. You're going to forget it even happened because it doesn't involve you. He didn't even really have to tell you since it happened at his job, but he did. So just accept it and let's move on, okay? Question number 18. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Calgary, Canada. Female, same age group. Summary of issue. My fiance feels that my older sister has constantly disrespected her whenever we are around and she wants me to cut her off. I feel torn and I need some help. I've been with my fiance for going on 5 years and she has a son who I've known since he was a year old and he's now 5. It's been a relatively great relationship and I love her and she's someone I want to spend my life with. We have some normal fights here and there and she didn't have the greatest upbringing, abusive parents and all that, but she is an amazing woman regardless. Our main issue and our biggest fight that occurs is that she feels my older sister is very disrespectful to her. I admit I've never said anything to my sister. I'm not the most confrontational person, but here are a couple of examples. She wouldn't shake her hand when she first met, just looked her up and down, and then went back to talking to my mom. Oh. And your girlfriend's gonna say, okay, bitch, what was that? She didn't say shit to her? Okay. Wouldn't acknowledge her when we were leaving their house after she tried saying thank you for having us, only stopping to acknowledge her son when she sent him to say goodbye the final time. Make small, subtle jabs. I don't hear them all, but she views them as disrespectful. Oh boy, this is terrible. And I believe her. Only shows an interest when we go over there with her son. He's a cute new kid. She has 2 kids herself, and her boyfriend has 2 kids as well. I could go on with more examples, but also my fiance thinks my sister puts on this facade of who she is as a person. My sister comes off as a very social media poster and seems just all she does for likes and stuff. My sister's ex-husband was caught, not in jail, but he got busted because he was talking to an adult posing as a minor, trying to talk to a minor for Nook, and she still has her kids go with him. Oh. My fiance just feels my sister is very fake and vain and also disrespects her and even me. I've always felt my sister was the favorite child ahead of me, and she got a bit more from my parents than from me. I admit again that I haven't talked to my sister about this, and now it's gotten to the point of, do I have to cut my sister off, at least for the meantime, or lose my fiance? It's my fault I never addressed this earlier with my sister. Well, it's not like it's too late. It's like your sister's not like in a grave or nothing, so you can still ask her what that's all about and why she treats her that way. I would pose it as a question. You don't want to come in there at guns blazing and, accuse her of a bunch of stuff. You say, I've noticed that this and that and this and that. And you have to say that you've noticed. I've noticed this and that, this, and I want to ask you why you do that. And see if she'll tell you what her thing is. Because from my point of view, there's no reason for that. As much as, my brothers had some girlfriends and stuff, I couldn't stand them bitches. But when they came to the house, I was under, like the glare of my parents. I better act right and act like I had some home training. So, I was polite and sensible and stuff like that. But if I saw him in the street, I sure wouldn't talk to him, that kind of stuff. But, there's certain things, you in your parents' home, you have to follow their guidelines and rules. So you need to talk to your sister. I would definitely recommend that. And if you can't figure out how to do that, sir, then I'm going to say this. You're not ready to be nobody's husband and a father. If you have no voice to even stand up to your own sister, how in the world are you going to stand up to the world to protect your kids and your woman? You're not ready. You don't have the spine for it. Question number 19. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from London. So I have issue. My boyfriend has been crossing boundaries with a female coworker and refuses to acknowledge that it's emotional cheating. Another one. My boyfriend works in an office. I know he is good friends with his office department team as they are close in age and get along well. I trust my boyfriend. I know he loves me. We've been together for 3 months. Oh, please. However, my boyfriend can sometimes be too friendly. He thinks it's okay to engage in excessive banter with all the female coworkers. I told him it can be seen as flirting, but he says that he can't go around being rude to everyone he meets. Yesterday, he called me and started asking me advice on a female coworker. He said that before me and him started dating, that coworker used to banter with him all the time and would stare at him all day. I told him it was likely she had a crush on him. He said he was confused as she becomes hot and cold towards him. At this point, I was getting upset as he'd been talking about her for the past 30, 40 minutes and asking me to analyze her behavior. I told him it was making me uncomfortable and upset that he was obsessing over her behavior when he said he loved me. I told him he needed to draw clear lines and be professional. He told me I was overreacting. Then he revealed that although he doesn't interact with workers from other departments, everyone thought him and the female coworker were dating as they were always flirting. This made me very upset as you're flirting so much that other workers that don't even know you notice you think you obviously are going overboard and boundaries are being crossed. He told me I was overreacting, that he didn't appreciate me accusing him of cheating, and that he's not a cheater. In my opinion, it is emotional cheating as he's constantly flirting with her. Also, apparently that female coworker does not talk to other men in the office, only to him. How do I make him understand my perspective? I was hoping to show the answers from... No, you're not going to show the answers. What are you talking about? I don't want to feel like I'm overreacting for wanting him to establish boundaries. What I'm going to say is this. What did I see over here? Oh, okay. So you said he's been talking about her for the past 30 to 40 minutes and asking me to analyze her behavior. I wonder why you stayed on the phone with your boyfriend talking about some other bitch for 30 to 40 minutes. I would have said, look, I'm done talking about this bitch. I don't want to talk to you about this bitch no more. I don't give a fuck about that bitch, and I don't give a fuck about your relationship with her either. And then I would have hung up my phone. Now, since you kept staying on the phone listening, though, and, giving feedback and stuff, he's drawing you in. It's what they call, what narcissists do, what they call a triangulation. So he's setting up this love triangle where you feel like you're competing with this other girl for him. And what you need to do is humdle, bow out. So when he starts with that stuff again, say, you know what? We've had 3 months together. That's enough of this shit. Because one thing I'm not going to do is be trying to compete with another woman over a man. I'm not going to do that. So, you and whoever you want to be with, y'all go and make that happen. I'm out. And just deuce out on this. You've only been dealing with it for 3 months and you already got all this angst going on and all this anxiety about what his real affections are. And just because a man says he loves you, if his actions don't match with his words, believe his actions. And his actions are saying he's enjoying the fuck out of torturing you and whatever attention he's getting from this woman to the point where he wants to run and tell you all of it so he can just hurt your feelings more and more. And you sitting up there listening to it. Question number 20. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Spokane, Washington. Summary of issue. Will he ever marry me? I'm still holding out hope that my ex now, that I was with for 8 years will marry me. He had about 5 wobbles in our relationship, and I decided enough was enough. I wonder what's a wobble. What's a wobble? The cheating, or he didn't know what he wanted, kind of thing. He's now saying he'll commit and doesn't want to lose me. So I said, if you are serious, then make a wedding date. We were engaged for 4 years before the breakup. His response was, you need to show me that you're committed, and then I'll jump through hoops for you. The reason he said this is because where he's mucked around for years, I'm guarded. He doesn't seem to understand that I need this from him to show me that he's serious. I never once in our whole relationship ever cheated, changed my mind, or made him doubt me. So it's confusing why he says I need to prove something to him. Every time he messed up in our relationship, I stood by him and forgave him. I need some advice, please. My friends and family say he's never going to commit. Otherwise, he would have done it by now. They think he's controlling and emotionally abusive. I just can't see it and truly hoping he's being serious. If he were being serious, he would have come and did what you asked after 8 years. He says he wants to be with you. He would have showed up with a ring, dropped down to a knee, proposed, and set the date, right? Because he knows that's what you need to feel secure. But he's not doing that. He's just toying with you. So what you should do is just block his number and go on with your life. Girl, you've given almost a decade of your life to this man. How much more time are you going to waste on him? He's keeping your attention focused on him, so you're going to age out of the decent marrying age. You'll be too old. It'll be harder for you to find a man because they're going to want to have kids and all stuff. And you'll be too old because you just gave up all your youth and all your beauty with this nonsense here. Deuce out on this clown. Tell him not to call you no more and then block his number so he can't call you no more. Better yet, change your number. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Florida. Male, same age. My boyfriend's mother is coming out to visit our new apartment next weekend, and I'm just not comfortable with it. But my boyfriend will not take no for an answer. I will try to keep this short. Thank you. My boyfriend's mother is supposed to be coming to stay with us on Friday. My boyfriend of 3 years and I have been having some very intense fights the last few days over this visit to the point where we might break up, and we're on the search of a couples counselor. On top of that, we just moved into our apartment together on August 12th. So our place is so unorganized, and there are still boxes of unpacked stuff. We don't have our bed frame put together or our dining room table because we lost the bag of screws to reassemble them. Needless to say, our place does not feel like a home right now. Apparently, I just said yes to my boyfriend's mother coming and visiting us out of town this weekend. It had been so long, I honestly forgot. And at the time I agreed to it, we were still in our other apartment, and we didn't know we would be moving. But with the move, our apartment being in shambles, and our relationship on the brink of collapse, I am not wanting her to come and stay with us. I love his mom. It's just literally the worst time ever. I told him multiple times that I seriously can't do this right now and to call her and to cancel. He straight up refuses. He keeps saying, well, she's coming. I even suggested her staying in a hotel and not coming to our apartment. And he said she's going to come and see the apartment at least once while she's here. He will not budge at all. By the way, we pay for the apartment literally 50-50 for all expenses. I told him I have a say on who comes to our apartment and when, as it's equally my home too. But he says, well, so do I, and I'm saying that she's coming. So how do I resolve this? I'm figuring out. Well, you've got two choices. What would Deborah do? Deborah would have called her herself. I wouldn't wait for him to do it. I would have called her and say, you can't come right now. We don't have this. There's nothing put together. The place is a wreck. There's boxes everywhere. There's like slip and fall hazards everywhere you step. And it's a hot mess up in here. It's stressing me out because nothing's put together. I can't find my stuff. I'm stressed out. I cannot host you this weekend. Give us a month and then you can come. Okay, that's what I would tell her. Then the word would get back to him. Well, she called me and said not to come. And he's going to say, well, come anyway. And she's going to say no because she's stressed out. I'm not going to come. And then he'll be mad. But guess what? He'll get over it because he'll be coming next month. The other option is just let her come. Don't make any effort to clean up anything. Just leave it. Actually, go and make it worse. Make it worse. Leave shit just willy-nilly all over the place. Let her come in and see that. And then if he doesn't clean it up, then you don't clean it up either. You just sit on the couch with your legs crossed and say, see, I told you it was a hot mess up in here. I don't know why you want to come. Told you to wait a month. As far as you guys losing the screws, what your lazy dumbasses don't know how to get on the internet and go to the manufacturer's website and order some fucking screws? You could have had them by now. If you moved in there August 12th, they could have shipped them out. You would have had them in a week and put your shit together. But no, you just rather sit around and whine and complain about it. Get your shits together. But the main thing is call a woman and tell her not to come. That's all you had to do in the first place. Once you asked him and he said no, then all you had to do was do it yourself. You're the woman of the house. Women can talk to other women. Say, girl, I mean, I love you and I really want to see you, but this is not the time. Give us a month, 6 weeks. Okay? And any mother with good sense would know that would mean what that means, and she would, she would postpone her trip. But you waiting for him to do everything, and he's digging his heels into the ground. That's when you circumvent him, and you go directly to the mother yourself. I don't know why you haven't done that before. Question 22 of 25. We got 25 questions today. Female, 22 to 27 age group. She's African American from Raleigh, North Carolina. Summary of issue. Am I asking too much from my boyfriend? My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years now. For context, my boyfriend didn't fully open up to me for almost a year into the relationship. So for almost a year of that year, I was fine with him not talking to me or hanging out with me every day. I thought it was normal for us not to be in contact until every 2 or 3 days. Until he didn't contact me for a week and a half. My friends, oh wow, that's a long time. My friends turned it as how he was ghosting me, but when he came back, he just acted like nothing had happened. He's the nonchalant type. If I talk about love or relationship-related topics, he always dismisses it. Suddenly he says I'm sleepy or that he needs to be something else at the moment. But when we talk about gaming or movies and random stuff, well, he's talkative as heck about that. He hasn't introduced me to his friends either, and it's been 3 years now. He doesn't give gifts just because flowers and all these sweet romantic stuff, but he does hang out with me to game or watch movies if I ask him to. He gives me a plushie after I got him gifts randomly one time. I was actually about to cry of happiness because I finally got something from him. Until he pointed out how I should take care of the plushie because it's a limited edition and how it's an investment, that he's going to sell the plushie when it gets expensive. And no, it wasn't in a joking manner. Wow. I opened up about my depression as well, and he made me feel guilty, though I think he doesn't mean it, by saying how he would get mentally and physically exhausted and get chest pains if I talk about my mental health to him. So I stopped talking about that too. Yeah, girl, he ain't trying to hear all that. So after 3 years, I finally opened up about how I want to meet his friends and his family. I want to be a bit more romantic, and he got mad and asked me why I think like this towards him. He said that hanging out is enough for him, yet why can't I be satisfied with that too? He said how I may not love him if I ask for that kind of stuff from him, like how I'm not satisfied. He said maybe I'm just not for you. At the end, I cried and said, but I only want you. It's like I do love him, but I just want to know how it feels like to be intimately close. More like observing everything for 3 years, and when I finally opened up about what I think I want him to do, I felt like I was asking too much. What do you think I should do about this? I know there are different ways to love and be loved, and I adjusted to him. I'm not upset at him. I'm upset about the situation. How do I make us work? You don't. You want a different kind of relationship than he's willing to give. And I'm not really sure what kind of thing. It sounds like y'all just a friend with benefits to me. I'm not really seeing the relationship part that you call this a relationship. It sounds like you've had a 3-year friend with benefit that just kind of rolls through, does what he gonna do. He don't give you no gifts. He don't do nothing. You're not really a part of his life. He comes into your life and then he dips out. I don't think you're looking at this properly, young lady. You're trying to make this out to be like a rough thing. I mean, you might love him, but he don't love you. He has no interest in you whatsoever. That's why he said maybe you're not the one for me, and he was just perfectly fine with that. Because he's not. The sooner that you wake up and move on from this, the better it'll be. You wasted 3 years of your life already on this man. He's not offering you nothing. I mean, think about it. When have your emotional needs ever been met in this relationship? Don't sound like to me, not once. From what you wrote here, every time you want to have a conversation about, your feelings and what's going to go on in the relationship and stuff, he shuts it down. He's not trying to have that conversation. That should tell you right there that this ain't, I don't know what this is, but like I said, it sounds to me like a friends with benefit situation. Long-term friend with benefit. Question number 23, female 18 to 21 from Scottsdale, Arizona. Summary of issue. How do I deal with insecure friends projecting insecurities onto other people, including me? I'm going into my sophomore year of college and have a core group of 4 other girls. We are all in the 19 to 20 age group that I met early in freshman year. While I do really like spending time with them, I've noticed that they project their insecurities not only onto me, but other women as well. They've made it very clear that they hate when women are confident, even strangers, in addition to less obvious jabs toward me about my appearance and how guys view me. I've never dealt with a similar situation, so it's been really difficult feeling comfortable / confident around them. Is it worth calling them out at the risk of being ostracized, or is there another way I can redirect it? Or is it a lost cause? And in that case, should I wait until they mature or just find new friends? I would just find new friends. And you don't have to make a big announcement about it or anything. Yeah, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. You guys, you don't have to do all that. All you have to do is start being busy. When they want to hang out, you're doing something else. Sorry, I'm not available. Well, they want to go somewhere. Oh, I'm already going someplace. I'm already up. I'm going someplace with so-and-so. Start putting space between you and just keep your mouth closed. Because these kind of girls, no matter what you say, even though you'll be 100% correct, about their insecurities and all this kind of stuff, it's not going to work for you to say that and call them out. It's just going to be extra drama. And there's 4 of them, and there's only 1 of you. So, they'll be ganging up on you, and then they want to attack you on social media. I mean, it becomes like a whole thing. So just start easing out of this situation. Be busy, and they'll do things without you and probably bring in somebody else into their little group, and then you'll be set free. And then you don't have to worry about it. But that's what I would do. Just ease out of this situation. Question number 24. This is our next to last question of the night. At 20, yeah, giggles, that's it. Do the fade away. Fade to black. Just fade into the woodwork. Oh, yeah, I forgot I have my Puma dress on. My Puma t-shirt dress. It's very cute, I have to say. I wore my black and white Pumas, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Today I was strutting around like I was young. Okay. So this guy's 24, he says. He's 20. Question 24. He's 22 to 27 from Houston. Summary of issue. I went out on a partial second date. Partial? A partial second date, and she's asking me to help pay her rent. Wow. Wow, she's moving fast. It's been a year since I've been in a relationship, so I decided to try out the dating scene. I recently matched with a woman a few days ago, and we hit it off. Okay, you was using them apps, you fool. A couple of days after meeting, we decided to meet up for what should have just been lunch, but it ended up hanging out for most of the day, and we had a great time. The next day, I happened to be in her area for business and asked if she wanted to grab some lunch. She agreed. Found a cool deli spot, and again, it was a great experience, great convo, comfortable setting. While we're conversing, she mentions that she's behind on rent and proceeded to ask me if it's too early to ask for my help. At this moment, I'm empathetic to her situation, but I'm thinking to myself, bitch, I've known you for a day and a half. I've been off the dating scene for quite some time, but is this the new norm? Just curious. No, it's the new norm for these pimptresses, but they just want to get, they after your money. She saw, you probably got a nice ride. You took her to lunch, you wasn't cheap and stingy. You might, probably look like something. She's like, I done hit the go. So she's up there talking about, she's behind on rent. And what you're supposed to say is, why is that my problem? I don't live with you. That's what you're supposed to say to that. See, you all dudes be too nice. So they think that you a soft touch. You just supposed to say that and then just look at her. It's like, I know you're not thinking I'm going to give you some money when I just met your ass like 48 hours ago. You tripping. Or it could be like a Dusty and like, okay, well, if I give you some rent money, what you giving me? That would be what they would typically say. But, you want some cash, that means you're going to exchanging it for some ass, right? Just be vulgar, since she was too. Or You could just say, well, we could do that, but you're going to go down to my attorney's office and you're going to sign a promissory note. And I want a copy of your driver's license or any passport and your birth certificate so that if you default on this loan that I'm giving you, I'm going to come after you for everything that you got to get my money. So, see those, different options, but none of those are sure. I can give you money. None of them are that. So it just depends on how savage you want to be, how nasty you want to be, which answer you might give her. Yeah, exactly. Like, bitch, you can go live in the park then. But my daddy said that, like, if you a woman and you don't have no money and you homeless, that you stupid, you stupid. That's what he said. Because it's always me and I always wanted to pay for that. So at least you get a roof over your head. I wouldn't know. That might be like a price that'd be a little bit too high for me. I might prefer to just live in the homeless shelter because, whatever. But I have too many relatives. I would never be homeless. I would just go live in one of them. But still, like the concept is what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's yeah, dude, poor thing. I know you were sitting there blinking and not knowing what was going on. But yeah, just think about those kind of responses and get your game up because you're gonna be messing with these chicks on these apps. You're gonna be hit with a whole bunch of stuff. All kind of mysterious, fantabulous stuff is gonna be happening and being said to you. Get ready. Question number 25. This is our final question of the night. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group from San Luis Obispo, California. Summary of issue. I need to know how to reject a guy after a first date. I'm just not attracted to him at all. He asked for my number on the way to class, so I just gave it to him because I was running late and said yes to going out because I honestly forgot what he looked like. When he came to pick me up, I finally got to look at him for the first time. He wasn't ugly by any means, but I just was not attracted to him at all. Still, I tried to give a date a chance when I went along with it, but I didn't vibe with the conversation and started mentally checking out. By this point, his laugh, his walk, and the way he kept trying to touch me and the way he kept trying to secure the next date was really getting on my nerves. I shied away from his touches but had to say yes to a next date because he literally asked me maybe 10 times. I ended the date early with some dumb excuse and he drove me home. He then tried to kiss me, but I opened the car door and he settled for squeezing my shoulder. A few hours later, he texted me with a follow-up for a next date. I feel bad about rejecting him because he technically really didn't do anything wrong. He paid for my food and drove me to and from. Well, that's what he's supposed to do when he asked you out. Why are you giving him credit for that? And I could just literally tell that he was trying hard. But I also never want to see him again. What can I say to him roundabout way to hint at not being interested? All you have to do is say, you put the blame on him. Say, you were a nice guy and everything, and I was having a decent time until you kept trying to touch me. I don't know you like that, and I found that to be very offensive and off-putting, and it was a turnoff. So I said I would go out with you, but now that I think about it, I don't want to do this again because you didn't respect my boundaries and you didn't respect my body. I didn't like that feeling that you were just like, like an octopus all over me or something. I just didn't like it. It was a turn off. And then that's what you use. You don't want to say, I didn't feel this and we didn't have a connection and we don't do. Anytime you go out with a man and you aren't feeling him, it's something that he did. Because dating is an opportunity. That's what I tell dudes all the time. If you get a girl to go out with you, you have created a successful opportunity for yourself. What you do with that opportunity now, that's all on you. If you get handsy, it's not going to work. If you say something foul, funky, and disrespectful, it's not going to work. If you don't treat her like a lady and she expects that kind of treatment like me, she grew up with a father and brothers in her household and people open the doors and stuff like that, and you don't do it, that's not going to work. If you take her, ask her out on the date, and then you get there and talk about, well, let's go Dutch and your half is this, that's not going to work. So dudes mess up so many, so much. You guys mess up so much. What could have been a nice situation that could have taken you to date two, you screw it up by what you say, or you have some raggedy conversation, you don't say nothing to her, you get drunk, you show up at the date smelling. I mean, there's some foul thing that dudes do and mess their opportunity up. Because even if she was on the fence, she would go out with you a second time to see which side of the fence she's gonna fall on. Because you were in the middle. She's like, well, he was okay. I mean, there wasn't really any spice, but he was okay. But I don't know. Maybe I'll probably have to go out with him again. She talks to you on the phone a couple times. The conversation goes good. So then she agrees to go to a second date. Okay, that's your second opportunity. Don't fuck it up. But 99% of the time, y'all fuck it up, so I don't even know why I'm talking. Don't they? They just mess stuff up so bad. They just mess stuff up, saying the dumbest shit. Even dudes don't even understand. They want to start talking about other women. Are you at the table with this chick and you staring at the other chicks that go by? Little stuff like that to turn a woman off, and your opportunity with her just went up in smoke. And I hope you did that to yourself. And guys don't understand. They'd be like, well, I was a perfect gentleman. Were you? Were you really? A lot of times, y'all, you don't think about what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself. And you turn a woman off, and once she's turned off, it's like a light switch. It's off, and it ain't coming back on. So, yeah, they just, I don't know. I mean, I told you, I remember that date. This was like a year or so. This was a while ago. The date I went out with the dude, it was a hookup date. I mean, smart guy, beautiful, attractive, tall, dark, handsome, all that. Nice BMW. I was jealous of his car with the drop top. Came pick me up, took me on a date to a restaurant I wanted to go to, and it was all good. Until he started doing that, it's the conversation. I can't remember what I dubbed it, but it's like they're challenging you. Like everything that you say, they want to challenge it. It's a fucking turnoff. If I said it, then motherfucker, that's the way it is. Why are you asking, what is this? And I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. So, it was a turnoff. I mean, in spite of all the wonderful things he had, the conversation was great. Everything was good, but our communication and his style of communicating to me it tinged with negativity, was, this snarky nastiness. And I caught it, and I didn't want nothing else to do with him. And that was it. Well, it wasn't really negging. I made a video about it, and I dubbed it something, but it's something that I noticed that a lot of dudes do. And it's like they're talking to you, and it's like a subtle kind of a put down kind of thing about what you said or something that you did. But, it's just not cool. And a friend of mine did that, and I cussed his ass out, a male friend of mine. And he did that shit. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm not your wife. Don't be talking to me all kind of crazy. You done lost your mind. You must forgot who I am. So he got cussed out real quick. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I know you didn't. But let me tell you, bust yourself. And this shit better not ever happen again. I tell you that. Because this will be the last time I see you. Because, I mean, we just friends. It's not like you ain't paying me or nothing. But, I enjoy his company and whatnot. But I'm not having that. We're not going to do anything that is even remotely a put down, a neg, negative comment, a criticism, nothing. You either like me and I'm wonderful and fucking beautiful and fabulous the way I am, or motherfucker get out of my life, because I don't need to have anything. There's enough stuff going on in this world that takes my attention and that's negative and that I have to deal with. One thing I'm not going to have is somebody who's supposed to be in my corner, in my life, as a friend, a family member, a supporter, a team member, a got your back kind of part of your crew. And then here they come with some bullshit. You out of here. I got to have that. You got to have that stuff in the back of you, right? So you can face forward and fight the enemy that you know is there. But if they sneaking up on you, there's a secret enemy behind you too, then where's your safe spot? Where's your safe place? Where can you just lay down your warrior shield and your sword and just chill for a minute if you got to watch your back and the front too? So that's how I feel. So when I get people like that, I just get them out of my world like pronto. So he just, we've been friends for a long time. I gave him his warning. That was his warning. That's his rattleshake shake. And it's like, that's it. That was your one chance. You used it. Okay, so don't you do this again. Exactly. You need people. Tell people to say, even if they don't say fabulous things about you, they're not trying to hurt you. Let me put it that way. So, you know, you don't have to say anything fabulous. I'm cool because I tell myself I'm fabulous every day. I don't really need other people to do it. But what I'm not going to have is somebody who's doing this little underhanded digs. You know, they trying to attack you on the sly. They want to like sabotage your success, sabotage your self-esteem, your self-respect, your dignity, all this kind of stuff. They try to set you up so you know you fail. They people do all kind of dirt. But anybody that I see you headed in that kind of direction, they're out of my life. I can't be bothered with people like that. And I suggest you don't either. Okay, so I have my stuff together. So we're gonna be back with the DNN on Friday night this time. For real this time. For real. Okay. So be right here on Friday night at 6 o'clock for our I mean this show has no redeeming social value. It's just a bunch of laughs and we just have a good time drinking our stuff, whatever we to drink of the evening and cracking jokes and just having a good time. That's what we do Fridays during the summertime. We got another month or so of it. All right. So I'll see you guys. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Shay, for always being here, and Sliver and Giggles and Ash and everybody who's Mary Elizabeth. I see, and Maggie. And yeah, all the usual and customary folks up in here. I'll see y'all hopefully on Friday night. Okay. And if not, I guess next Wednesday.